The Dark Power of Innocence. The night was dark and stormy as the van pulled up to the abandoned building on the outskirts of town. The kidnappers, a group of ruthless individuals who specialized in abducting children for profit, had finally found their next victims. The children, ranging from the ages of 8 to 12, were herded out of the van and into the building, where they were locked in separate rooms. The kidnappers started their usual routine of physical and psychological torture, hoping to extract as much ransom money as they could from the children's wealthy parents. But something was different this time. The children didn't seem to be affected by the torture in the same way that their previous victims had. Instead, they seemed to grow stronger and more resilient with each passing day. The kidnappers couldn't understand what was happening. They had used the same methods on countless other children, but this time, it just wasn't working. As the days went by, the kidnappers started to realize that their captives were not ordinary children. They possessed an otherworldly power that allowed them to control the minds of their captors. The children were using this power to resist the torture, becoming more and more immune to the effects of their captors' actions. The children were finally able to turn the tables on their captors, using their powers to control their minds. One by one, the kidnappers were lured into the children's rooms, where the children used their powers to take control of their minds. The once ruthless kidnappers were now under the control of the children, who had become the new masters of the abandoned building. The children reveled in their newfound power, relishing the control they held over their captors. They started to hunt down anyone who dared to enter their territory, terrorizing anyone who crossed their path. The building became a place of terror, where the children ruled with an iron fist. Meanwhile, a group of rescuers who had been searching for the missing children stumbled upon the abandoned building. They were horrified to find that the children they were searching for had become the very thing they were trying to save them from. The rescuers were faced with a difficult decision. They knew that the children were now a threat to anyone who entered the building, but they couldn't bring themselves to abandon them. They entered the building, determined to save the children and restore their innocence. The rescuers were greeted with resistance from the moment they entered the building. The children, consumed by their newfound power and thirst for revenge, attacked the rescuers, using their powers to control their minds. The rescuers were powerless to resist as the children forced them to join their twisted game. But the rescuers were not easily defeated. They had come prepared, armed with the knowledge of the children's powers and the means to resist them. The rescuers fought back, using their training and determination to break the children's hold on their minds. The battle was long and arduous, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. But in the end, the rescuers emerged victorious, freeing the children from their own powers and restoring their innocence. The rescuers left the building, taking the children with them and leaving behind the bodies of their fallen comrades. The children were finally able to return to their families, their innocence restored and the memories of their time as captives erased. But the abandoned building remained a place of terror, a reminder of the evil that had taken place within its walls. The building was eventually torn down, but the memories of what happened there lingered on. The townspeople whispered of the children who had become the very monsters they were trying to escape, and the rescuers who bravely fought to save them. And though the children returned to their normal lives, the trauma of what they had gone through never fully left them. Years later, as the children grew up and started families of their own, strange things began to happen. People reported seeing ghostly apparitions in the area where the abandoned building once stood, and strange whispers echoed through the night. It was said that the spirits of the children and the rescuers still haunted the land, unable to find peace after the events that had transpired. Many people avoided the area, but others were drawn to it, seeking answers to the strange occurrences that took place there. But those who ventured too close to the site were never seen again. Some say that the spirits of the children and rescuers still roam the land, seeking revenge on those who dare to enter their territory. To this day, The story of the abandoned building and the kidnapped children still sends shivers down the spines of those who hear it. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that sometimes the greatest dangers come from within, and that even the most innocent of us can be capable of unspeakable evil.